question I'm getting quite a lot at the moment is, how do the new Bose Sound Control hearing aids compare to the hearing aids from a traditional manufacturer? So coming next, I'm hoping I can be able to answer that for you. Hi, my name's Matthew Pearson from Zone 1 Hearing in London, and over the last 16 years I've had the pleasure and privilege of helping people from all over the world hear better. So if you'd like to learn all about ears, hearing aids, hearing testing, assistive devices and accessories, please remember to like, to share, to comment, subscribe and press the bell so you hear when our next video is released. Thank you very much. So category number 1 is the style or form factor. The Bose hearing aids actually look quite conventional. They're in a grey colour, they hook over the ear and they have a receiver wire that goes down the ear and into the ear canal. The Signia Styletto 1X, however, actually looks rather unconventional. It's a rather long, slender style that goes down much further. It's a very slim looking hearing aid, and when I've shown it to people of a variety of ages, they've not been quite sure what it is, and some have said, you know, not wanting to be wrong, is it a hearing aid? Not sure whether it's a hearing aid or headphones. So from a style perspective, I'd argue that maybe the Signia device wins. What do you think? So category number 2 is the power source. So with the Bose device, you have disposable 312 batteries, which were the staple a few years back, but these seem to have largely been replaced by lithium-ion solutions. So the Signia Styletto device has a lithium-ion battery and actually has a portable charger that you can carry with you that carries several additional charges and also can be put on a charging mat and receive extra power that way. So that seems to be, you know, a more modern way of sort of powering a hearing aid. So what do you think on this one? Would you prefer a disposable battery that gives you a warning and you throw away and replace, or would you prefer to use a rechargeable that you simply put by your bedside at night, and if you need to go somewhere you can take your case with you and have several extra days charge? Category number 3 is how the hearing aids are set up. So with the Bose device, these are mailed out to you. You take the devices and spend some time configuring the different modes, and you can also set up the microphone mode. So whether you want to have a forward focus, say for a restaurant scenario, or whether you want an all-around focus, say if you're on a busy street. This is all done with a smartphone app which is downloaded for both iOS or Android, and then you can adjust what they call the real world volume and the bass and treble to get your own sort of preference. You can also, in addition to the 5 bass programs they give you that you configure yourself, it may be 4, I may have got that wrong, you can set up additional programs which you can name for individual environments. So that's how you would do that. With the Signia device, you would visit an audiologist and you would then have a hearing consultation where they would examine your ears, carry out a hearing test. If it looks like there's no medical contraindicators, they would then look to fit the hearing aids, maybe then or in a future appointment, and you've got a variety of different domes and also different receivers or speakers, and you can even have custom earpieces, which I don't think are available officially for this model, but certainly I've had them made for my clients, and that's dramatically improved the quality of sound. A good quality audiologist, as well as the prescription that they would put into the hearing aids, would also carry out what they call a real ear measurement, so otherwise known as probe microphone measures. So this is the sort of scientifically validated way to personalize the fit. Think of it another way: if you and I both had our hearing tested and our results were for some reason identical, the computer will assume that our hearing requirements are exactly the same in terms of the level of sound. But of course, as I'm sure you'll know, your ear and my ear ears are going to be different. So the real ear measurement takes that into consideration and gives a much more accurate and personalized fit. So if you find that the company you inquire with doesn't offer those, my advice is just move on to one that does, and I've found very, very few people, after having real ear measurements carried out, would want to unrem them. So to have the real ear measurements taken out, they tend to find that it does give a clearer, better sound. So you don't have quite as much adjustment yourself with the hearing aids, but you do have a choice of either with the Bose system, you set them up yourself and configure them to your personal preferences, or with the Signia device, you go and have a diagnostic test, and then you have the hearing aids set up by your audiologist. So category number 4 is automatic or manual. Within the Signia devices, you have a universal program. What the universal program will do is decide whether you need directional microphones based on the scenario you're in, or omnidirectional microphones, and whether the noise reduction needs to be applied, and it does all this automatically. Now, if we go on to the Bose system, what you will find is the microphones are not automatic, and you need to set them up basically whether you want them directional or omnidirectional based on your situation, and then you have your variety of programs to go through. Now, my personal observation is, and I would liken this to a motor car, I had an automatic going back a few years that had a manual override. In fact, I've had a few, I think, and the first time you see it, you go, hey, this is cool. I can actually change gear myself, and you do it a couple of times and then think, well, the car already does this and it probably does it better than I do. Do you know what? I'm just going to put it in D for drive and let the car do it itself. And I find with hearing aids, when people first get them, they change the programs a bunch of times and make a bunch of adjustments, and then within a few months they've just settled down to putting it in automatic, leaving it there, putting them in and forgetting about them. So it just depends whether you think you'd be happy constantly changing microphone patterns and changing programs, or whether you just want to put your hearing aids in like you would a contact lens and kind of forget they're there. So personal choice. So category 5 is the fact, and I alluded to it earlier, you can cover virtually any loss with the Signia Styletto 1X. So anything from mild down to into the profound area. With this new category that Bose come into, they are for perceived mild to moderate hearing losses. So there is a chance when you try them, they may not cover your hearing loss, or they may do for now, but you could sort of outgrow them. And this is, much less likely with the Signia device, because you've got several different receiver levels, and they will go down into the profound area. And there's another feature I'll touch on later which will make this even less likely. So category number 6, we're going to discuss phone calls, streaming and music streaming. So with the Signia Styletto 1X, if you have an iPhone, when you have that connected up, when you take a call, the sound goes directly into both hearing aids through your prescription to give you clear audio. So you'll be able to hear the phone calls very clearly. And what I've found is a lot of people who've historically taken a lot of landline phones will switch people to calling them on the mobile because it is so much clearer, or the cell phone for our US viewers. The Bose system, unfortunately, although it does have low energy Bluetooth, that's just for connection to the app, so it doesn't allow you to take a phone call through. And also the option you've got with the Signia one, if you wanted to maybe stream a YouTube video or watch a movie, listen to directions on the street, there isn't that facility either. So that is the phone streaming. Now you might say, well, hang on, what if someone's got an Android phone? Yes, you would need a sort of an extra device, which is a sort of like a multi-mic type device. So what this will do, a little clip-on gadget, is allow you to receive a phone call, and as well as receiving a phone call, it also doubles as a microphone. So let's say you're walking down a busy street and struggling to hear someone, you can simply hand that to your conversation partner and they can clip it on or pop it around their neck on a lanyard, and their speech is only going to travel that far and it will beam it straight into the hearing aids. So that's very useful if, as happened to me yesterday, I tested a patient and their quick SIN test, their quick speech and noise test, showed particularly poor processing. So the issue with this is hearing aids, irrespective of how fantastic they are unlikely to meet all of an individual like that's needs. So assistive devices such as these microphones and devices to give you the ability to stream into the aids if you don't have an iPhone, fortunately this person did, are very, very helpful, and I would almost say essential. The other thing you could do with the Signia aid, and virtually any of the sort of traditional hearing aids now, is have a TV streamer. So what a TV streamer does is it connects to your TV, and you can simply select that mode either on the app or on the aid if you have controls there, or via a remote, and it takes the sound and puts it straight into the hearing aid, giving you high quality audio. So like putting headphones on, but still giving you some ability to hear your environmental sounds around you. So we find with that, people are able to take off the subtitles from the screen, which doesn't then disturb other people. They're able to hear dialogue far more clearly, and other people can put the TV on a volume level that they're happy with, rather than maybe still finding it with just a hearing aid, it's too loud for other people. So that's another sort of a streaming benefit you get with the Signia aids compared to the Bose aids. Our next category is InPerson Support. So with Bose, you have got the access to remote support, and you do get, I think, one session free to help you with setup. They have also got a very good manual and various videos to help you with this. But I found that one of the things that really gets people over the line, gets them to sort of keep and commit to their hearing aids, is that initial support that you give. So typically with an audiology clinic or home visit service, could be either or combination of both, and even once it's set up, remote support as well with these hearing aids. It's things like showing people how to put the hearing aids in, take them off, adjust them, charge them, basically care for them. So things like wax filters. I've just had a scenario today where someone religiously keeps to my recommendation of changing the filters once a month, but actually in recent times that's not been enough. So we've now set up a new sort of plan where it's every couple of weeks. So with Bose actually sending out the hearing aids without any filters in the pack, and you have to order them from them, and their recommendation of changing them about once every 3 months. I'm just wondering how many blocked filters and abandoned hearing aids are going to be, or maybe returned aids that didn't need to be returned because maybe all they needed was a more frequent hearing filter change, because you do get a 90-day return period with the Bose hearing aids. And actually with Signia, speaking about the UK for example, most companies give a 60-day money-back guarantee. We actually get 90 days. So look, if push came to shove and you really didn't like a hearing aid, you would be able to return them. I mean, another thing to bear in mind, if we do a quick comparison, you can see these Signia aids are quite feature rich, but a couple of things they don't have. For example, you may need a telecoil, which is for the loop system for theatre, for cinema. So there is a brand that we have here in the UK, Bernafon, and many countries around the world. On their entry-level device, they have the loop system. In addition to the loop system, I'm trying to remember, there was one other feature which I thought was particularly good. Yes, the tinnitus sort of sounds that you can use. So if you suffer with tinnitus, wearing a hearing aid may well give you some great assistance in reducing that down. However, some additional environmental sounds that the Bernafon aid can give you can put it even further into the background. So there is one feature you don't get with the Bernafon, which is what's called frequency compression on the entry-level model, which is helpful for people with very poor high frequency hearing, where they've possibly got dead regions within the cochlea, and then you need to compress the high frequencies. You have that on the Signia. If you want the telecoil and the tinnitus features, then maybe the Bernafon device will be good for you. So in terms of price then, so this is like the final category, I think the question is going to be, well, that sounds fine, Matthew, but there's surely going to be a huge difference in price. Well, there is a difference. I'm not going to hide that away. I've based it on doing a quick search online. I found a group in the UK that has a network of about 200 individual independent providers, and what I found was for the Signia Styletto 1X, it will give you the manufacturer's warranty, in fact a 4-year warranty, which is longer than the general manufacturer's one of 2 years, and you've got lifetime aftercare with those devices, any adjustments you need, and there's a variety of branch and home-based services there. But they will charge you 1,195 in UK pounds. So I'll put the US sort of equivalent up there to give you some sort of idea, because Signia are available there. Now, if somebody said, well, that still sounds a little bit too much for me, if you wanted to go for the 312 battery version of the Burnaphone aid, which, like I say, has got everything you've got with the Signia apart from the frequency compression, but you've also got the tinnitus features and the telecoil on there, you can pick those up with a 2-year warranty from this same group for £895. And again, I'll put the dollar equivalent up. So what I was trying to show there is, if we do a fair comparison, not go for a top-of-the-line device and say, look how amazing it is in comparison. Well, yes, of course it is. It's several times the cost. If we look at an entry-level device and compare it with the Bose self-fitting device, and then look at the differences in terms of specifications, and then look at the cost difference, hopefully you'll see the cost difference is not huge, and you'll be buying a hearing aid from companies with huge legacies that have made devices for many, many years, and you've got sort of a person backing you up that you can both see it online, or you could meet face to face, or have come to your home if you're unable to get to a clinic. So it's just simply a case of looking these providers out. But certainly what I would say is the main thing, if you've got a hearing loss, is do something with somebody. So if you think the Bose system is absolutely ideal for you and that's where you want to start, fantastic. If you think, well, maybe for a little bit extra, I maybe want to start with an entry-level device, maybe supplement that with a couple of accessories as time goes on to see if they would give me an even better experience. Again, great place to start. You don't always have to go from nothing to a top-of-the-line device, because guess what? A newer, better device will be out soon. A newer, shinier device from another manufacturer will be, and it's very hard to constantly have the best device. So if you're in this holding and thinking pattern, which many people have been for years, and not taken action, the best thing to do is do something. So hopefully this has been helpful. This is Matthew from Zone 1 Hearing in London, wishing you a fantastic day. If you do need any help finding a provider in your area, please feel free to send me a message at the email I'm going to link below. And we've already had success in finding great providers for quite a number of patients. So that's been really good to know. Okay, thank you very much.